Hello, welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be playing the well-anticipated iRacing Arcade. So today we are in Demo Drive. Um, so this is unfortunately the first time I was able to make a review of the Demo Drive. I've been pretty busy this fall. But we're here now, so let's get into it. So we have 5 modes here for AI difficulty. I've played this game a couple times already, just haven't gotten the chance to make a video. We have Amateur, Pro-Am, Pro, Master, and Superstar, 5 difficulties. If you do a lot of racing games like me, I would recommend starting at Pro-Am and work your way up to see where you are. Amateur for me was very easy, so it wasn't worth really doing much for me. Then obviously you have your drive button, for once you select your AI difficulty, quit to desktop button to get out of the app easily, because it's just, a simple layout at the moment, and a button to add it to your Steam wishlist, which I think is very cool. So let's get into a race. So I'll quickly just kind of go over the controls here so we have an idea. But I love this intro. Now to skip it, you can click the A button. I'm using an Xbox One controller, just to get an idea. So here's the, let's see, the quality. So the right trigger is your gas, the left trigger is your brake in reverse. If you click Y, that's to reset your car position, so just like that. If you hold it. And X is like a little handbrake that you can click. So that's nice. If you have that one little kink that you have to make in this game, that might be faster. If you go over those yellow cones, yeah, actually just made that mistake. If you go over these orange cones, it'll give you a 2-second slowdown penalty, so it just slows you down for 2 seconds, so your throttle doesn't really do anything. Obviously you steer with your left, your left control stick. That's the word. And then with your right stick, you can look around, and then also, if you press it in, if you press it in, it looks behind you, which is helpful. That's pretty much it. The one thing is, if you see on the right, you see our position. If I click the left trigger, or sorry, the left bumper, it'll go it from just showing the people around me in first to everybody. So that's helpful. And then in bottom right, you see the track map, of all the cars and stuff on it. Let's see here, got the little cutscene for it. So these are the finishing results. So I like it. Into the race here. See, we'll go over of the entire grid. I think that's really cool. So if you look at the top right, these last 2 things you need to get to. The top right, you see what lap you're currently on, your best lap time, and the current lap time, which is nice. And then in the bottom left, you see 3 statistic little circles. So the heart, I assume, is for damage, so if you get damage, that will show up there and that'll go down. You have fuel there, so that shows you how much fuel you have, and tires. So I'd assume for maybe a longer race at a track with more laps, for, once they release the full game, maybe you'll have a required pit stop because you won't make it on fuel if you don't take a pit stop, so that's going to be more required. So I think that's very cool. So what does this game have to offer? Well, right away we can see it's a very fun little, racing cartoon style type game, which I love. I think it's a really cool game off the bat. It has a lot to offer in the sense of it's a very open game that I feel like everybody can really get used to if they know how to race with a controller, do anything with a gaming controller, which I think is really nice and really helpful. And yeah, so obviously we know that they're planning on making a career mode, a career type mode. Although I guess the game is going to be pretty much fully based in a career type game. So you're going to start with the Fiat 500, and you're going to work your way up with the Junior Formula, which is the Formula Ray 1600, um, and also a touring car, I believe, is it? And you can work your way up with a Porsche with the Porsche 911 GT3. They also have a FIA F4 car. And then they also have an LMP2 car, which I think is really interesting because it's not the new type of LMP2, the closed cockpit. It's an older version of the LMP2 car with an open cockpit, which I think is really cool. A newer GTP / hyper car, which I think is going to be really cool. Slow down. There you go. And a Formula One car. It's called the Formula GP car, but it's very similar. It's their concept Formula One car. So I think that's really cool. So that's what cars they have to offer. Let's see if there's another one that I'm missing. So for track list, well, actually, let's start with cars. So we can see a little bit of buggy. It sees everybody finish a lap behind me, but I did not lap anybody. That's normal for a game like this, still in beta, still in demo. So for the car list, we have a Formula 4, we have a Fiat 500, the Formula GP, which is like their Model F1 car, the Formula Junior, which is the Ray FF 1600, the GTP / hypercar, the LMP2, which is an open cockpit LMP2, the Porsche 911 GT3, which is what we were just racing, and the touring car. Now for the tracks it's going to be a very big difference for all the different tracks. So it has Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, which is where they host the Mexican Grand Prix in Mexico City, Bahrain International Circuit, Barber Motorsport Park, Paul Ricard, Imola, Knock Hill, Kyalami, Lime Rock, Maple Ridge, which is a fictional track. It's actually in Circuit Superstars if you play that game. Miami International, Motorland, Oregon. I'm probably going to butcher this, but Sachsenring, Sugar Hill, which is another fictional track that's from Circuit Superstars, and Tsukuba, which is where the demo is. So those are the tracks that it's going to be. So it's going to have a full career mode. So like I mentioned, you're going to kind of work your way up, which I think is very interesting. I think you'll see a lot of differences with maybe some different games. For example, we know this game is made by it's not made by Iracing. So we know that maybe that it's going to be like a full game that's paid for by Iracing, but it's made by the company that makes Circuit Superstars and Karting Superstars, which those games do not have a full AI mode. So, or a full career mode. That's the word. So I think you're gonna see a little bit of a difference. So that's cool. Yeah, so lapping a car already, that's interesting. Must be an amateur. So, yeah, you're gonna have a full career mode. Oh, that was qualifying, okay. You're gonna have a full career mode, which I think is nice, so you're gonna have to work your way through that, while on top of having so many different cars and tracks combinations. I feel like you're gonna have, some more simple tracks to some really hard tracks for being in a game like this. So I think that's very cool. Um, yeah. So my final thoughts are, actually I'll show you a pit stop here in this race. But my final thoughts in this game are there's a lot of potential. I'm very happy and excited to see its final outcome. Um, so I think, being a game that it's not, it's still in a demo mode, not fully done yet. It's really good. Let's go in to show you pit stop here. Certainly. Drive up pit road here. See you stop up here. And I can drive out whenever. So let's see, I can drive out there even though my tires are not changed. So now I'm in last. See if I can make up some time. So I do see I'm getting some slipstream, but I don't know from what, because there's nobody in front of me, so that's quite interesting. Maybe that's just because I'm getting clean air, I'm not exactly sure. Or if maybe that's a glitch. Let's find out. Not handling it too well. I don't want to go down pits. But it's a very interesting game. There's a lot that can go into it. Being a game that's still in its demo, obviously there's still stuff that can be done to it, but that's just why it's in demo. Overall, I think it's a really good game, and it'd be very interesting. I think online play is gonna be a lot of fun. Having different, competitive lobbies. I'm sure there's gonna be some sort of ability rating like Mario Kart and iRacing itself has in different games like that. I'm sure there's going to be something like that to kind of put people in fairly ranked matches. So, and I really like how the AIs are coded very realistically, like how we just saw there. He kind of drove the other guy off the track. That's realistic in a certain sense. Some people will do that, and sometimes just a crash like that will happen, which I think is very interesting. And you kind of have a mix of, different abilities inside of an AI level. So you have maybe your people higher up in that ability level, so, people in, first through fourth here. And then you have your maybe lower in that skill level, which is, your lower positions, maybe, 8th through 12th. One thing I really like is they did not they paid attention to detail with the schemes. I really like the schemes and how there's difference. I feel like in other demo modes with a race set up like this, you might have everybody using the same scheme, but they put detail into different schemes, and I hope that you can adjust schemes like that in the game itself. I think that'd be very cool. Just like that, I feel like it's a pretty good comeback. We got up to 3rd position. I like it. Let's see, we'll be on the podium. See it cheering. I really like this game. Yeah, I really like this game. I think it's very cool. You see, I lost 2 positions, it looks like, which is okay, because I took a pit, nobody else did. So I think that's very cool. So, thank you for watching this video.